Reasons to be alarmed with the silver price and the gold price, or are we just taking a little break? We're going to look at the charts and find out. And we've got a secret weapon for silver. Actually, it's a 1, 2, 3 punch that could propel the silver price to crazy levels. We'll dig into that, and we'll get a little update on the silver squeeze situation and a bonus factor, right? A turbo factor, something that could come out of left field that could propel the price of precious metals to levels that we cannot even imagine. We're going to end with that in this video. But first, thank you for being here. We still have the special going on for you. You can subscribe to the channel for free. Please subscribe. We want you to come back and join us here in the basement to talk about the precious metals. You are the most important part of what's going on. But today we're having a red day. Oh my gosh. We're not used to that in the precious metals sector. Let's go take a look at the silver chart right now and see what is going on. Let me pull this up for you. I have a presentation prepared for your benefit because you deserve that. All right, let's look at a 1-year chart. I'll circle that. Okay. Wait a minute. Let's look at the 1-year chart circled here in blue of silver. This is the futures, currently at about $38 per ounce. We've got a down day, down 73 cents. Oh my gosh. Reason to be alarmed. Let's take a look. The red line on this chart shows what we've talked about over the last year. We tried several times to break through the $35 level. Once, twice, and third time was essentially a charm. That was a great thing. Now, what's happened most recently and what we really need to pay attention to was over here, we had a second resistance level, let's say around $36.50, $37 per ounce. We know that we've broken through that just recently. Okay, guys, and we did that on some pretty big volume. The key number in the spot market that we were looking at was around $37.50 per ounce. Let's say around $38 per ounce here in the futures market. So while today is a red day, we don't really need to be concerned unless we break below in the futures market, let's say around $37 per ounce, around where we are right here with this blue line. If we go below $35 per ounce in the futures market, that could signal a little more of a correction in silver. But right now, even though it's no fun on days like today, we are still technically, in my opinion, in very, very good shape. Now, let's move on. You want to talk about, I got a little secret for you. Little secret weapon in the world of silver, right? Everybody's been talking about how there's not been any real, let's say, retail type investment into the silver market. Well, that is changing. Okay. And we've got a 1, 2, 3 punch that I think as we head into the remaining 5 months of the year could provide unbelievable support for the silver price. Let's go out to Kitco and our friend Niels and see what he has to say. The title of the article, Macquarie raises silver forecast, but expects prices will peak this year. Now, this is not the real important meat. This is all just the basic kind of hubbub regarding the silver market, the stuff we've heard about, industrial demand, blah, blah, blah. That's not the exciting thing. I've got some excitement highlighted for you lower, but this chart, is this chart catching your eye? This chart is catching my eye. Let's look at this one real quickly. Again, okay, this shows us back from June, and this is probably the spot market. I believe it is, yes. That $37 range was our support. Again, we broke through this, guys. We aren't going to get too worried right now unless we get down in here into this area. But I got off track. Let's talk about these secret factors affecting the silver market that we can be very excited about. In yellow, it says money managers increased their speculative growth short positions in COMEX silver futures by 1,934 contracts. At the same time, long positions fell by 237 contracts. Silver's net length now stands at 42,000 756 contracts, down nearly 5% from the following week. So we still have a massive, massive short position in the silver market. But what we really want to pay attention to is here in red. Analysts also note that the CFTC trade data shows swap dealers who act as principals or agents to facilitate transactions in swap contracts hold record short positions. In green, some analysts suggest these could be linked to rising ETF demand. Last week, global, this is shocking, silver-backed exchange-traded funds saw inflows of 322,000 ounces. Inflows. Silver holdings in ETFs have climbed to 775 million ounces, the highest level since August of 2022. So money is coming back into the silver ETFs, okay? Now, that's a very good thing. That's a reversal of a trend that we've seen over the last number of years, but that's just factor number one. Factor number two that could ignite this massive silver, if money's coming into the silver ETFs, the next logical step would be that retail bullion investors in the West start to come back to the market, because the demand from the everyday, not us, not you, not me, right? Not us basement dwellers, not us fiat fighters, but the average, hold on one second here. Okay, the average typical retail silver investor has been a ghost over the last year or two. Talk to people at coin stores. Talk to people that are in the retail online bullion selling. The demand for silver from Western retail investors has been non-existent. If that even goes back to normal, okay, we got the ETFs. That's punch number one. If we get the retail Western investor just coming back to normal, we're not saying that they actually need to go into a mania phase or anything like that. Just coming back to normal. That's punch number two. Punch number three that nobody else is talking about, but we know about, right? We're always, look, I know the people that come to the basement, I'm going to give you a compliment. You typically have a little bit superior intellectual horsepower. We just don't look around the corner. We look around the next corner as well. That third punch could be jewelry demand for silver. Nobody talks about it, but it's a massive source of demand for silver. And I believe, how do you feel about it, that in the coming years, we are going to see a big, big uptick in demand for silver jewelry. I believe silver jewelry is beautiful, in my opinion, as beautiful as gold jewelry. And on top of that, it's more affordable. So we get the 1, 2, 3 punch. Okay. ETF demand, check. All right. Western retail silver demand, just going back to normal. We can't check that yet, but can you feel it? I can feel it, right? And absolutely, when I look around the corner, right, and then look around the next corner, I think we're going to see increased, robust demand for silver jewelry as well. I want to say thank you right now to channel sponsor. They sponsor the gold and silver content here in Ron's Basement, First Mint. They're owned by First Majestic Silver, Keith Neumeyer's juggernaut silver mining company. First Mint is unique. They mine the silver in Mexico, the freshest silver on the market. It gets shipped directly to Las Vegas, where it's minted into world-class silver bullion products, unique products. As a matter of fact, I want to show you, I'm only going to show you one side of this for now. Okay, I'll show you the next side next time. But this is their new Las Vegas round. It is awesome. It's got like a poker chip design on the outside, and look at that beautiful art on that coin. I absolutely love this thing. It's just an example of the unique products that they have. You can go to their website, firstmint.com, firstmint.com. You're going to find a wide selection of products, all unique to First Mint. You're going to see great prices, and most importantly, it's a company you can trust, right? Owned by First Majestic Silver, headed up by Keith Neumeyer. Go check them out. And by the way, there's a discount code, VIPRB. All right, let's move on now and talk about the silver short squeeze. This is fascinating. Look, we know there's a big, massive short position on the COMEX and the LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association, right? We know the COMEX and the LBMA have manipulated the price of silver for decades, right? We know that's been proven in court, right? We know that eventually the physical market for silver will overtake the paper price. No doubt about it. But look at this great kind of shocking piece of information that came out from Wall Street Gold talking about silver. According to TD Securities, the LBMA silver's free float has fallen to the lowest levels ever recorded. What does that indicate to you? Right, that the amount of free floating silver, the amount of silver available at the LBMA has fallen to the lowest levels ever recorded. Silver markets won't rebalance without a physical squeeze. Now, add on to this, the London spot diverging from the New York futures. There's all kinds of weird stuff going on in the silver market, guys. Lease rates are spiking to 4.5%. And as we previously discussed here in the basement together, ETFs are pulling millions of ounces off the market. Tick, tick. Okay. I want to give you a warning. They are going to do everything they can, right, to control this silver market. The sad truth is that because of a different scenario that we're living in right now, one where countries like China, we forgot to talk about China, and India are exerting more authority over the precious metals markets. The LBMA and the COMEX are losing control, right? Is it going to happen tomorrow? I don't know. Is it going to happen next month? I don't know. Is it going to happen next year? I don't know either. But what we do know is that when we look at the facts surrounding the silver market, when we look at the facts surrounding how the world has changed. Now we are in a different world right now for precious metals. At some point, true price discovery is going to occur for silver. We've kind of seen it with gold, right? With central banks buying gold, but with silver, we're still waiting. Silver is still the beach ball being held underwater. It's going to be glorious. It's going to happen. Remember, where is he? Oh, there he is. Hold on here. Right there, this guy, Smitty. That's the silver bear. Smitty, hold on, as you can see, has a blindfold on that says $85 per ounce. We will, I believe, be taking that blindfold off much sooner than most people think. I know. You can call me whatever you want. I'm a silver pumper. I'm a gold pumper. I was called a gold pumper back, see the big brown bear there? When the brown bear had on a blindfold that said $2,500 per ounce gold. A lot of you guys were saying, you're just a pumper, blah, blah. Well, we took that blindfold off about $900 per ounce in gold to go. It will happen for the silver price as well. Speaking of gold, I want to say thank you to First Mining Gold. They also sponsor the gold and silver content here in Ron's Basement. They are a Canadian development stage gold mining company. They have gold in the ground in Canada. They're working through the permitting process. They've established two separate massive projects in Canada with millions of ounces of gold in the ground. Decades were spent drilling, right? Tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars spent drilling, defining that this gold is in the ground. They're now working through the permitting process. It's gold in the ground in Canada, and the development stage companies, all of them, offer an unbelievable value opportunity. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't make any financial decisions based on what I'm saying, but in full disclosure, for years, long before First Mining Gold sponsored Ron's Basement, I have owned their stock. Okay, so thank you, First Mining Gold. Thank you, First Mint, both of you, for sponsoring the gold and silver content here in the basement. What else could add massive fire, right, to a potential silver short squeeze? Let's just look at the data that shows how much paper silver. This is astounding. All right, we look at this probably on a weekly basis, but our friend the dude puts out this great data. This came from today. The silver market traded 441 million paper ounces yesterday. 441 million paper ounces. Make-believe silver, leveraged silver, right? In one day, more than half of what the entire mining sector produces in an entire year. More than half traded in make-believe paper electronic form in one day. You're going to tell us, do you believe, are you going to buy it, that the silver price is not manipulated? I'm sorry. To me, I don't know how you feel, but to me, it's pretty darn obvious. Okay. Now, there's an outside, there's an X factor, something that we need to pay attention to that could have massive implications on the world economic system, the financial system, the economy, but in particular on the silver and gold price. Okay. And that would be if right now President Donald Trump is successful in his crusade to get rid of Jerome Powell at the Federal Reserve. There's people saying, speculating that Powell may resign earlier. President Trump, not a political statement, this is not a political show, is being very, very direct with his desire that interest rates be lowered by a full 3%. Why is this such an X factor? Because, guys, guess what? The market is basically expecting, let's go take a look, no interest rate cuts at the next Fed meeting. And then when we even look out further into the September meeting, the odds of a rate cut are still pretty low. So what this is telling us right here, we are at the CME FedWatch tool. 15 days from now, we will get the next decision on monetary policy. But what this is showing us very clearly is a 97% chance that interest rates are going to remain the same. Okay. Now, if we go out to September, I believe 20th will be the next meeting after that, which is almost over. September 17th. September 17th. What we see there is just a 50% chance right now that we will get a 1/4 point rate cut. There's the rate cut, 4 down to 4%. Here's where they currently sit at 4.25, and almost a 50% chance that we will have no rate cuts. Why is that important? Why do we want to pay attention to that? Because that shows what the big money expectations are for interest rates at the next two Fed meetings, which are pretty much that the most we can hope for is a 1/4 point cut within what? The next 2 months? If in the next 2 months, President Donald Trump is successful in getting Jerome Powell to resign, this guy right here, let's get him out. Right? We're not supposed to open the box, but we do. All right, there's Jerome in the box. If Trump is successful in us being able to say bye-bye to him, and we do get massive interest rate cuts, that would send absolute shockwaves through the economy, absolute shockwaves through the stock market. But most importantly, that would send absolute shockwaves through the precious metal sector. That could be the fuse that lights the $50 silver. We may get there anyway, right? We talked about, right, the 1, 2, 3 punch. ETF purchases are going up and up and up, okay? We can get the retail bullion crowd in the West just getting back to normal. And we talked about the jewelry demand as well. We know that right now in the paper silver market, there is a massive, massive short position, almost historic in nature. And if we were, we could be taking the blindfold off the silver bear before we know it, right? $85 silver. If we get a resignation from the Fed by Jerome Powell and President Donald Trump gets his desire, and doesn't he seem to get what he wants most of the time, right? And we get rates cut by 1%, 2%, as much as 3%, it could be absolute crazy time. Okay. Hey, thank you for joining me here in the basement. You are the most important part of this program, right? This is possible because of you. You are important. Again, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, share it with everybody. We want to get the word out about these non-fiat investments. We are the fiat fighters. I also want to say thank you to channel sponsor Ledger. They are the crypto hardware wallet security leader. If you have crypto and you want to secure it in a hardware wallet, check out crypto or check out Ledger. They secure 20% of the crypto in the world. And our friends at MoonPay, they are the fintech leader, growing and innovating. If you've not heard of them yet, you will. Okay, they've got 30 million customers in over 180 countries around the world. Be good to yourself. Thanks for being here, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.